Chainsaw Man.
Scream. No. We've changed the intro. We just scream now. We just scream to the heavens.
Okay.
Ah!
Yeah!
I need you to scream so loud that people think that they need to call the cops.
Okay.
Wow.
Anyway.
All right, he did do that. I'm so sorry. Oh God, I hope you didn't wake up your fucking narcoleptic parents.
No, they're awake right now. They're watching an old TV show they haven't watched since they were kids. They found it on Tubi, so that's cool for them.
All right. What are the odds over under that your mom like walks in there like, oh, what's wrong? Are you okay?
50-50 probably. I don't fucking know. She knew I was going to be recording, so.
All right.
Anyway,
Chainsaw Man.
So I want to just start this off with like we're going to the same schedule you talked about with One Piece with Chainsaw Man, right?
Now, okay. Basically, I would say almost nothing is changing here. Okay, so basically, we've just decided because like adult lives are crazy, full-time jobs are crazy, and basically, long story short, we're just gonna like there are chapters where it's like we can't think of anything to talk about, so don't expect a review every week. Either it will be we didn't feel like talking about this one, or we were just like so fucking tired. Like we actually filmed a review last week, but it was so low energy from both of us that we were like, this was terrible. We try to have a Nintendo seal of quality over here. So like essentially where we're at is we're gonna film when we goddamn well please feel like it, and you're gonna fucking like it, you dirty sluts.
and I'll say for like further information, go head over to the main Control Chaos channel, and there's like a one more time, I think is what I titled it, an update video.
Or don't actually.
Kind of
cringe.
Dove into a lot of shit about like how I'm going to be handling content moving forward. So yeah.
Well, listen, what it comes down to is back in the Disney day, I had a lot of fun running this channel like almost like a business. Like we tried to have like 3 videos a week, and we commissioned art, and we did this, that, and the other thing, and it's just both of us are just I'm like a dude. I'm a year away from being 30, man. I Godspeed to all those people that can like keep content creation up. I'm just destined to be a minimum wage slave for the rest of my life. But I still do like talking about Chainsaw Man with my boy. So
and I am 32 in a month and 2 days, and I hate it.
And more bitchless than he's ever been, than she's ever been, than they've ever been.
They. Let's just go with they.
Bitchless, nonetheless.
Yeah, no. I'm doomed to be bitchless, and that's okay. I will go from situationship to situationship and be depressed when that ends. You know, that's my life.
I'm glad you've. Step 1 is recognizing the cycle.
Step 1 is admitting you have an addiction.
All right, so Chainsaw Man. Listen, what do I want to say first? Obviously, Falling Devil is like, as we've said before, Falling Devil is the best villain in Part 2, hands down. I'm loving them so much. It's really refreshing to get a devil that's like got class, you know. Hold on a second. There's a man behind me. And by man, of course, I mean man in truck. Okay, anyway. It's really refreshing to have, like, a devil with some class, you know? Like, it's so, I don't know, we're so used to, like, and this one's just, like, there's a part in this chapter where she's like, I don't really want to just slaughter you guys. And you can see as they're going through, they're not just killing. They're just getting the ingredients. They almost look at human bodies as like, trees to pluck the apples off of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just like she's just going through like an eyeball here and a nose here. She's leaving them alive. It's horrific, but she's just like, yeah,
it's like the CIA going and collecting trophies of war, right?
I actually don't know what you're talking about. Explain.
So like most contractors go around and collect proof of their killing, right? So like common is like a finger, a toe, an ear.
That's fucked up. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Red Alexander of Controlled Chaos disavows killing people and ripping their fingers off.
But like here's like an eyeball, a nose, and an ear. You know, it's fucking weird. But like, I do like.
It makes good soup, man.
It makes good soup. I don't know if I would eat the human soup, Red. I've ate a lot of fuck shit traveling, but I don't think I'd eat human soup.
Listen,
I'm against cannibalism.
You're 32. You're 32. You're in a rut. You need to try something new. Nibble on a finger. Come on.
I eat my own fingers. Like, that's a
so,
nervous tick of mine. But I don't think it actually consumed flesh.
Well, there's a part in this chapter where she's like, I don't like she's just kind of annoyed at them like blowing her full of holes, and she's just like, guys. Oh, well, I mean, that's a little forced dark for me, I think. Now, pray away the kids. I'm all about it. Pray away the kids.
God, such an ancient callback.
I still love it. Still one of your best.
It's so good. It's such a good
joke.
joke.
That was mine. You don't make good jokes anymore. You're fucking old and not with it anymore.
One of us has to be hip with the kids, right?
Yeah, that's why I watch TikTok.
My entire TikTok is Shameless clips to the point where I started watching fucking Shameless, okay?
I don't even know. Shameless? What the fuck is that?
It's a fucking show where, like, the entire personality... It's a little too real for me. I'll be honest, like, the fucking dad is, like, a deadbeat alcoholic, and then the fucking kid is raising the family, basically.
The algorithm was spot on for that one. Okay, now I would like to get back to Chainsaw Man, Mr. Derailer. What was I going to say? So, yeah, no, there's a point where she says, y'all can't kill me with any humans that, like, any humans, lol. Humanity...
Any weapons that are currently applicable
currently possessed.
Yeah.
So my brain immediately went to nukes because they don't possess those right now.
Right.
So I imagine a nuke would kill her. Is my assumption, because that's like the ultimate weapon humanity possesses. And the way she's talking about that, she's implying that there are things that could kill her that humanity maybe could have. So that's interesting.
Right, and that's a really interesting call out because like. We assume that most devils don't have any memory of, like, previous things, but her being, like, this primal devil, so to speak, would mean that she's existed long enough to kind of remember it, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I think her being primal, I mean, that would make her above even, like, someone like Makima, right?
Right.
Control wasn't primal. So that's a little bit too, that's kind of an advanced idea for, like, a primal, like, fear. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, like, I would imagine if any devils would remember a thing that has been erased, it would be the primals. I mean, we got to see Makima fight darkness, and, you know, I assume darkness would have won that one if it dragged on long enough.
Right.
Yeah, so, like, yeah, and now what I'm interested in is, you know, she just keeps healing. Like, she literally just, like, her flesh back. Just, like, literally, like, so, like, what can Denji do to her other than, I mean, I guess we're in, like, this is like an eternity devil situation where Denji just has to keep slashing forever. I don't know.
Either keep slashing forever or consume. So, like, basically erase.
Yeah, maybe this is the moment where he, like, learns to channel that power. Oh my god. Right,
so, like, erasing the possibility of falling would be great for us alcoholics.
Dude, fucking please. The concept, I've always loved, like, we've talked about it before, but I was always obsessed, like, even as a kid, I knew that the episode where Death gets, like twists his ankle or something, a Family Guy, and they couldn't die. I love that concept, where you just, like, erase a concept from the world, from the universe. That's such a fascinating concept. I would love to see how the world would play out if falling didn't exist.
Right? Like, it's such a unique ability that Denji could possess there, or does possess, and just hasn't really unlocked yet.
I want to see him go mad with power, because, I mean, he could do some crazy shit.
Right, and given the minimal amount of humanity Denji already possesses, could you imagine, like, a fully unlocked Denji? I think that would be the moment where the government would step in and be like, okay, yeah, we need to take him out. I know he was an asset, Kishibe, but fuck off, you're not in control anymore. It's like when in a cop show where, like, the FBI takes over the local PD's jurisdiction kind of thing.
On some Stranger Things shit right there.
So, like, I genuinely, like, would love to see that.
I assume that... I assume that that's one of the reasons why... I have a feeling what Yoshida is doing is part of that, right? Like, the government is sure they're trying to protect him, but I also think that that's a sub goal of what they're mainly doing, which is watching him like a fucking hawk. You know what I mean? Because you're right. I mean, they know how dangerous he could be, and they just want to make sure to keep him on their side.
And not just him, but having, like, the embodiment of control in his possession while being, like, a subhuman human. You know?
Oh, yeah, I can't imagine the strings Kishibe had to pull to keep their grubby mitts off Nayuta. I mean, like, it wouldn't surprise me if people are actively Kishibe. Luckily, Kishibe is absurdly strong, but like, it would not surprise me in the slightest if they try to like do a little coup against Kishibe and like take him out and then go for Nayuta at some point.
Oh, absolutely, and it's definitely like the biggest possibility, because like the second Denji starts becoming too powerful, it's going to be Kishibe and his squad of boys versus the actual fucking government, because he's going to try and protect his asset. But also, at the same time, like, that's where Yoshida will be, like, torn in this middle, because, like, I don't think he has any loyalty whatsoever. Like, I still think that Yoshida really hella sus.
Yeah. I'm really curious. This makes me want to go back to the chapter where Yoshida's talking to Fami. I'm trying to remember, like, if we could glean any sort of vibes from him, because he really just said, well, hold on. So first he talked to Asa, and he was like, hey, just stay away from him, right? And that was basically the entirety of that conversation.
Yep.
And then he talked to Fami, and then he basically just brought up the apocalypse that was happening, right?
Yeah, you couldn't really glean anything from him other than the fact that it almost like
I genuinely think
like he was somewhat aware of like things that were going on, but he didn't have like the full story. Basically, is what I was gaining from that.
About the apocalypse thing.
Yeah, he couldn't really like suss out like the entirety of it, and then now we're in this mess.
Yeah, I think that was why, like, when he did that little glance to Fami after the aquarium, I think it's like he knows, you know, I am guessing that he works, because he's already talked about how he works for an organization, blah, 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 blah. He probably definitely works for, like, some secret sect of the government dealing with devils, and I imagine that, like, they are briefed constantly about, like, different threats. And I'm guessing that one of the things they've been briefed on is this like apocalypse scenario, right?
Yep.
So I'm guessing once he saw Fami, he was like, oh yeah, all right, it's happening.
Because we already had war pop up in Asa. I mean, Yoshida's not stupid. He knows what's going on there, because he's already been familiar with like control and now having famine. It's like, well, now fuck, the apocalypse is starting to happen. I just need to piece all the like pieces that we have on the board together and figure out what to do to try and prevent this kind of thing. Is the stage we're at.
It just clicked for me. I think I just figured it out. And it's all coming together here. Okay. So remember, there's the part where Yoshida, like when Denji's like, I want a girlfriend so bad, and then remember Yoshida is the one who introduces Denji to Asa. But then at the same time, Yoshida's the one who said, hey, stay away from him, which seems to not make much sense. I think I realize what's going on here. In the aquarium, Yoshida says to Denji, it'd be really nice if Chainsaw would eat the Death Devil, right? I think Yoshida is going to try to manipulate Denji / the Chainsaw Man to consume the Four Horsemen and erase all of those concepts. Yeah,
I could see that being the end goal here. Like,
because that's fucking wild. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just having like a Jimmy Neutron blame blast right now. Literally, because like, how do you have the biblical end times if the horsemen don't exist? That's awesome. That's literally, it is humanity trying to use Denji to erase the horsemen of the apocalypse from existence.
This is the future the liberals want.
I love that. So I genuinely think that's why he's like he's trying to get him to know Asa. I think he's going to slowly push Denji to like eat war, eat Fami, eventually eat death. You know, that's going to be crazy.
It's insanity, but like it's a plan crazy enough to work. And inside the Chainsaw Man Fujimoto verse, you know, what the fuck else is there to go with at this point?
Yeah,
because you can't predict anything in this series to that extent, but I could see that being like crazy 4D chess playing from like somebody that would be the 4D chess player in Yoshida.
That's one of the first times in this whole series that I feel like I've kind of pieced together like where we might be going, actually. And in a way too, what would be interesting about that is that would be Denji carrying on Makima's plan to an extent, right? Yeah. Because obviously Makima, you know, I have my doubts that she was as virtuous as she said she was going to be, because she claimed, oh yeah, dude, I'm going to use the power to erase all these shitty things and make the world better. But at the end of the day, she really was just a Chainsaw Man simp. Like, that was her main goal.
Like 100%. Like, look at all these things I erased, like nuclear war and AIDS and Hitler and all these things. Look at me, I'm so good. But realistically, all she wanted to do was fuck Chainsaw Man.
Hey man, I think the erasing things to make the world better was just a cherry on top. The main thing was fucking Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, I
Before
wonder,
anyone
like,
says, no, she didn't want to fuck Chainsaw Man. We're joking, but yes, also she did.
Like, I realistically, like, if Chainsaw Man is in, like, merchandising, you gotta think, like, in Japan, as crazy as they are, there's a Chainsaw Man branded dildo.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. And then when you turn it on, it makes a Chainsaw Man noise. Like, picks Chainsaw Man in Smash Brothers Brawl for the Wii. I want to touch some tits.
No. By the timeline, we haven't even got to the N64 one yet.
Yes. Wait, I think that might have just come out. Like that would be brand new right now.
Like 96 was.
No, but they're in 97 right now, or 98. No, they're in 98, aren't they? And then because when's the apocalypse? 99. Damn.
Yeah.
We're stupid.
I think you're right, actually. So that's just now.
Because we're closer to because people were talking about the Y2K as a potential. So I know we're closer to 2000. Like, we're either 98 or 99.
So it takes place in 97. 98 is where, like, Pain Part 2 is at right now.
Okay, so we're in 98, and then the apocalypse is 99.
Yep, and then Smash Bros. 64.
So they're in March. They're in March of 98 right now, because March parts.
Yeah, it came out April 26th in America, January 21st in Japan.
What year,
for the
dipshit?
OG Smash Bros.
What year?
I just said it's 99 when that came out.
That.
So they haven't even got to Smash Bros yet.
They are a year away.
If the world survives, they'll be picking Denji and Smash Bros for the N64. How about that?
Didn't the apocalypse? what was it going to be, like July of 99?
Yeah.
Is that what he said? Oh, dude, they'll get like 2 months of Smash Bros.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. If Denji doesn't succeed in eating all of the apocalypse people, yeah.
Denji can become like a sweaty, like a sweaty Smash Bros fan, and go to those cons where sussy shit happens.
Not going to expand on that joke, even though I wanted to.
Yeah, Mister, I'll do a school shooting joke, but
I mean, school shooting's low-hanging fruit as an American, but like I draw the line at certain things.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I've made enough sus jokes for the fucking Power Rangers Zeo to be on a watch list.
I mean, you are on watch. You got that. I remember you got that email that you were on the watch list.
There's a difference between a hacking and countermeasures watch list and then, what the fuck are you talking about in this video watch list?
I have no doubt that you're on no less than 15 watch lists.
Probably.
You're probably also on the trans watch list that the Republicans are setting up.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely haven't tweeted a new skiff at Ted Cruz before.
Wow. For anyone who's new here, I don't make that joke because, haha, it's fun to laugh at trans people. I make that joke because, haha, Republicans really are psychotic, aren't they? All we can do is laugh to hide the pain. Haha. Anyway.
But at least, like, women have rights here in Michigan.
Dude, Michigan's honestly like one of the best states right now. Like, we are fucking, we're living good right now.
New Jersey joined the base states, and I like, if we get like Democrats voted out here, I'm actually contemplating moving to New Jersey, and I hate myself for it.
I think we're pretty safe here, dude. Like, I mean, the midterm we just had, we have a full Democrat control over the entire state. Like, I mean, we're like minimum safe for like 2 to 4 years at this point. We're very safe. They actually call Michigan the anti-Florida now. Like, that's like the nickname for Michigan. I fucking love that. I am so proud to be a Michigander.
Hey, I wouldn't mind watching somebody throw a gator here, though. Come on, that'd be funny.
I mean, did you see too? I mean, like, obviously, Whitmer is not the perfect governor by any means, but like, she has been a very pro LGBT governor. I don't know if
she
you've
has.
seen any of her. She put out a video recently where she's kind of leaning into that anti-Florida thing where she's like, I want this state to be like a bastion of LGBT rights. I want you to feel accepted and welcome and comfortable here. You know, I mean, so
I'm happy with that. You know, as long as we have it here. You know, and then I might move to Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey's pretty cool. Let me take a look at this chapter and see if there's anything else.
I'm just going to go through some of these ingredients, Red, and it's funny to me. So, you need 10 eyes.
Oh, we got to talk about the apple shit. That's so funny. All right, yeah, I think you're gonna say
10 eyes, 4 ears, and apples that pair with human flesh.
Well, I think because she was wondering what pairs well with human flesh, and then the short store clerk's like, and she's like, I just answer the question, man. Like, I'm not trying to kill you or anything.
It's crazy. And then we have like a standard issue H&K sniper rifle here, trying to piece.
Yeah, what the fuck? You're the gun guy, okay? What? Every time Fujimoto draws a motherfucker getting shot in this show, it's like a basketball-sized chunk of their flesh gets eradicated from existence.
It's a fucking sniper rifle for one, and I'm guessing it's chambered.
Do those are there caliber bullets that will do?
Yes,
that?
A 50 caliber will eviscerate a motherfucker.
Oh my god!
Like that car. If it was shot at that car down there, there'd be a hole the size of a fucking tank round out of it, basically.
Amazing.
One of my buddies actually retired from the military before they started taking the guns back, so he got to keep his rifle. I'm not going to name the name of the rifle that he got to keep. And I got to actually shoot it at a range a few years ago, and I had a gigantic fucking bruise on my shoulder just from holding it.
Oh, wow, yeah, I can imagine. Also, you're right, I will correct myself. I thought she was just asking what fruit, but you're right, she does specifically say, like, an apple. What apple pairs best? I mean, that's like the equivalent of, like you know, you see it in cartoons where they, like, cook a whole pig and then shove an apple in its mouth.
Yeah, it just kind of makes sense, like, to them, basically humans are livestock in this part, I would assume.
Oh, yeah.
So
that was one of my favorite things about Makima, is that, like, the way she looked at humans, where, like, it's because, like, you're right, devils probably do look at humans like animals, but, like, the different devils look at them like different animals. Like, some of them would look at them like pigs, like, oh yeah, they're to eat, they're disgusting creatures and I want to eat them. Yeah. And some of them, like Makima, would look at them like dogs or puppies, like, oh, they're beneath me, but I find them cute and lovable.
Oh, absolutely. And it's funny, like, we've gotten to this point in Chainsaw Man, like, we have the duality now of actually learning a bit more about the devil universe and how they view that, which was something I had a big fault with in part 1. If you go back to, like, our previous videos, like, I wanted to know more about, like, the devil lore and, like, a lot of, like, their feelings towards humanity and, like, how that world functions, and now we finally get a bit of that. I don't think we'll get a lot more of it because that's just how Fujimoto writes a story, but we at least got something here in this, like, Falling Devil arc or mini arc, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I've noticed that, like, I mean, one of my favorite things to do when I'm reading a story is to kind of, like, compare and contrast how different authors like to write and their styles. And, like, some authors are, like, for the sake of this conversation, I'll call them data book authors. Mm-hmm. So, like, people that they are the type of authors that want to sit you down and give you, like, oh, you want to know about this character? Here's his birthday. Here's his favorite food.
Your Odas, your Kishimotos, your Kubos.
You want to know about the lore of this fucking world? Oh, well, here's how it works. Here's the fucking, like, main material that the sand is made out of. Here's the temperature that this fucking planet has. You know what I mean? Like, but then some authors, and I see this style kind of like becoming more popular now, realize that, like, in some cases less is more. Mm-hmm. And I think Fujimoto's the type of author that just kind of wants to tell microcosm stories where it's like, you know, you don't really need to know the exact lore of the devil world. I'm just here to tell a story that takes place in that world. Everything else, all those other details don't really matter. They're just fluff. And I'm here to tell a human story that happens to take place in that world. And I agree with you. It's fun to know the lore. But at the same time, I don't fault him because remember my main issue with Samurai 8 when Kishimoto tried to come back. I mean, he jammed that first chapter full of exposition.
And they fucking continue doing that.
Unnecessary exposition, like you're reading a damn data book, right? And I think that's one of the things that makes his story so good, is that it kind of just focuses on the things you're going to care about, the human story going on in there. Now, I think there's a way to walk that tightrope and do it well. The way I've always liked it is start off the story kind of like how Fujimoto writes, where you kind of you hook people into the microcosm story, you hook them into the personal human element, and then once they're hooked, then you can start kind of giving more like detail lore stuff. Like that's kind of usually how I like it. Like so, like if One Piece started and like the first chapter was like, okay, there's hundreds of islands and there's 4 emperors and here's how the world government works.
Would have lasted like, 10 chapters.
Yeah, that'd be a little too much right away. But it starts off with just, hey, there's this kid and he's a pirate. And he's fighting a fucking fat lady. You know what I mean? Like it's worthwhile to take your time and not immediately like jam pack that kind of lore. So I
respect authors like Oda though too that have the self awareness now to be like, if I started this series today, it wouldn't have lasted, and that's why he's really thankful that he started when he did, because there was more of a fucking attention span back then.
Yeah, you're right. Not only was there more of an attention span back then, but it also kind of, what I like about that too is it proves, because I'm an Oda Dick writer, that proves that Oda is the type of author that would have the capabilities to adapt with the times. You know how Kishimoto was not, and he couldn't adapt with the times? Oda's the type of author that could. You know, it's proven by the fact that he knows, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And then you do have authors like Kishimoto who kind of come back to their story to, you know, now he's back helping co-author or like took over the authorship of Boruto.
That was one of the biggest L moves I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, and you see like the decline in quality. I've watched people, you know, before I uninstalled Twitter again, and just kind of step back from social media for a bigger portion. You know, now that I don't have to have a presence on those apps. And step back from content creation.
Okay, that was always allowed.
But yeah, networking is the biggest bitch, so I have to like at least keep those accounts open for certain videos that we're still working on. But anyway, like having watched that fandom kind of implode when he came back, and now seeing people continue to bitch and moan about like certain plot points within the story, I'm like, yeah, you can see that he's kind of taking the story back in the direction that he feels that it will be good in, but we don't need to have the villain arc for Boruto and where he's the exile now, you know? It's kind of stupid the way he's taking the story.
Oh, I mean, yeah, clearly he loves that. He's just going to retread Sasuke.
Yeah, like literally it's like reverse Sasuke, the story at this point, and the Kawaki being the hero. I'm like, I was going to suffer through this, but I don't think I'm going to bother doing that now because I don't want to read the same story twice.
Well, you know, it's never been my thing. I mean, even Naruto was a very big nostalgia glasses series for me. When I went back to it after reading other things, I kind of realized that it was never really all that good.
Oh no, like, and I find faults with Bleach and other stories that I loved as a kid now, you know, and it just comes with growing and maturing and realizing that once you take those rose-tinted glasses off, there's not really a lot of substance to your standard shonen story. As hard as that pill is for a lot of people to swallow, it's very true. Like, your starter pack manga are there to get you hooked on the demographic, onto that particular genre of story, and then once you grow, you're supposed to kind of, you know, not fully go past it, but you're supposed to get more advanced.
Stray away from language like you're supposed to, because, you know, it's just fiction. You can enjoy it however you want.
I mean, I still like listening to YA novels on Audible, but, like, I realize that there's objectively good and objectively bad written, and you're supposed to go out and find, like, better written stories once you realize, like, oh, I like shoujo. What are some good shoujo series? Oh, I like, you know, BL. What are some good BL? And go out and source those.
I think what I would say would be, like, if you're like out here claiming that like Bleach or Naruto is like the best fiction ever written, and it's like top of humanity up there with Shakespeare, then like you're probably a little misguided. But like if you enjoy them, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with enjoying what you enjoy. That's the argument that I used to get into a lot. Like, there's nothing wrong with liking Black Clover, for example.
I will just make fun of you.
But saying it is the best written piece of fiction on the planet, you are fucking insane.
Yeah, seriously.
And like, especially like with this current final arc, like it knocked it out of my top 10, you know?
Tragic.
I wouldn't even put it in my top 25. Like, I was enjoying the fact that there was a well-written magic story again, because that's such a hard thing to write that, you know, has had so little originality for so long. and then now we're retreading fucking King Arthur plot points and literally poaching from Naruto's Sound Ninja arc. I'm like, what the fuck am I reading now? How did this get so bad?
Let me see if there's anything else to talk about. Okay, we have to talk about the
fact that he's not pulling his cord and not consuming blood.
Hold on, the page turn where she's like, all right, I gotta deal with these guys, and then like the whole building is like lifting up is awesome.
Oh god, yes.
This shit's gonna look very cool whenever it's animated.
In 7 years.
Yeah, probably. I also really, really adore what were you saying about?
So it got pointed. I'm not going to take credit for this. It got pointed out in the server. But there is one thing that I'm very curious about is like how strong has Denji actually gotten off screen? Because normally he would have to pull his cord or consume blood.
He has pulled his cord. People, you should really read the chapter.
No. To regenerate, my dude. He's not pulling his cord while he's regenerating here.'s pulling it to activate it, but not to regenerate. He just instantly came back with his fucking head.
You're talking about how the cords are kind of like reattaching?
Yeah, like how he's coming back from like sinew and gore here to like almost fully regenerated near the end of the chapter.
Let me take a look. Yeah, because she cut him in two places. She cut him at his head and at his like torso dick level.
Yep. Tragic. He's never going to reproduce.
Well,
that might be a good thing.
Denji doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who wants a kid. I can't tell if he's like actively going to bite him or not, but I see what you mean. There's no like explicit panel of him like drinking blood.
Right.
So yeah.
So like I'm curious how he regenerated there in that panel.
Oh no! Yeah. I dropped my phone. Sorry if that's loud. Continue.
But that's my big one. Like, how is he regenerating without doing the like pull cord method or just instantly like drinking some blood or whatever? Hopefully that kind of gets drug in here in the next chapter. But also he could have just got some major off-screen buff, and it wouldn't surprise me with Fujimoto.
Well, he did literally plow right through her, giggity. So it's possible this might be a situation where it's just kind of like not being shown, but implied that he's got some blood in his mouth. Like it reminds me of like a lot of times people would overread into it, like within One Piece, where it's like Luffy did gear second without pumping his legs. Is he stronger? It's like I think Oda might just not want to draw a little panel of him pumping his legs.
Yeah, that could also be the case here, but I just
but interesting. Out. Like it's cool to bring up that it could be a subtle hint that he's like getting better with his powers. Yeah.
And that would be nice if he's getting better with his powers, because that means he's getting further towards that possible end game of like devouring all the apocalypse devils here too.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how that goes, because like I imagine it'll be more of Denji getting used again, and he'll have to go down that whole arc again and be like, no,
no means no.
See, I wonder if Yoshida will try to like convince him like that's what's best for humanity in the world, and then like what would the counter argument be? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. That's so interesting.
It's a very interesting plot point that we could have, and I'm genuinely curious how he would feel about being utilized as a tool of war again, and not just you're an apple thief.
Dude, yeah. Once again, reminds me of one of the first chapters that Denji came back in part 2, where he's like,
you forgot there was a cat.
Yeah, exactly. Cockroach devil's killing all these people, and he's like, dude. The cat, the same thing. He does not care. Like, I mean, it's like you mentioned earlier, like the lack of humanity Denji has. Like he's not a terrible person, but he's definitely numb. I mean, like he's very numb to things.
Well,
like,
I mean,
it reminds me a lot of Gen Zers actually.
Yeah, like one he is essentially like being written by a Gen Z author, so it's got a lot of his life experiences, I would assume. But also, like, the fact that he came from squalor, like, he's seen the worst of the worst in humanity. He's seen, like, the gangs, like, how life is on the streets and how you have to take and do whatever it takes to survive, I kind of empathize with that a little bit. But at the same time, you need to grow. Like, you need to move past that part of you. You don't need to rely solely on, like, the survival instincts of... Especially now that he has, like, a life outside of that. And he has, like, a pseudo-daughter or pseudo-sister here. And
he makes all that money selling cigarettes on the street.
I can guarantee you he's not making bank selling cigarettes, okay?
That was a joke. That was being funny.
But, you got that going on for you. You have to better yourself and set an example for that kid. And, just caring about the cat or just caring about, the fact that they're stealing apples isn't the way to go about it. You need to be like, well, this is somebody that could be a doctor, or this is somebody's sister or mother or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I mean, I wonder if we'll ever go down the path of Denji kind of like being a little bit better of a hero. I don't know. It's interesting. Like, I do wonder, because I mean, we still know that like it's pretty confirmed at this point. Like, the reason he fights is it's not because he feels like some like sense of duty or he wants to protect people. It literally is just to get bitches. Like, I mean,
we have basically confirmed that, and it's sad, but it also makes sense. That was his goal. That was the thing.
Yeah,
like he wanted a harem, basically.
Part 1, he wants a harem, and now Nayuta's given the fucking thumbs up to the harem. So
yeah, he can have the harem, he just can't bring it home, and I respect that in a way. Like, you don't want to be bringing 8 women over and just plowing right in the middle.
Nayuta probably looks much because Nayuta is essentially it's a reborn Makima, so Nayuta probably does look at them like strays. Like, don't be bringing strays home. Who knows what diseases they have? Keep that shit out of my home.
Don't bring both chlamydia and gonorrhea home, Dad.
Please have some goddamn standards with who you're fucking. I'm begging you.
Oh god, but it's just,
bro. He should literally just call up porn. Pornhub doesn't exist in his world.
No,
man. If the internet existed, Denji would be set, bro.
No, this is the era of like the oh baby, oh baby, oh baby.
What do you mean?
The phone sex line that was a Rocco's Modern Life joke.
Yeah. I was gonna say, man, like if it was modern day, he could just like be like, hey, what's up?
He would be 100% be gooning. Like,
I was just gonna say, he could literally be like, what's up? I'm literally Chainsaw Man. Here, I'll prove it. And then like call up Pornhub, because Pornhub like offered like, I don't know, like some absurd amount of money for anyone who films like a 0G porn in space. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like, you think they wouldn't be like, hey, I'm Chainsaw Man. How much you want for like a Chainsaw Man porn? I got you. He could make money and fuck bitches on the reg.
Chainsaw Man, the sex worker.
Yeah, I mean, that would be dangerous stuff. They'd probably have to have, like, any woman sign a waiver, because if he gets a little too excited, I mean, oh, shit, her head's cut in half. Well, she signed the waiver, whatever. Next woman.
Oh, God. Exclusively fucking women like Lady Dimitrescu up in space.
Well, the space was non-relevant. I was just making a comparison. I don't think they're going to put Chainsaw Man in space, although he has been in space.
Right, like, no. I mean, you could take that real-world example and put it into this context here,
Chainsaw Man fucking in space. Wow.
Manga in space.
Space really is the ultimate shark jumper, man.
Like, oh god!
Yes. When a series goes to space, I'm real skeptical. I'm like, all right, all right.
When you have a tournament in space and you break your own rules 3 chapters into that arc, then you 100% have jumped every.
Is that a Dragon Ball Super reference?
Yes, it is,
dude. That's why, and I will continue to spread this agenda. Mario Galaxy is the peak of Mario, and it only went downhill from there.
Yep, I agree. But the Mario movie, though. Going to see that this week.
No spoilers. I'm very excited.
I'm going to see that this week, so I'm hoping it is good.
I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes.
I do not give a fuck what Rotten Tomatoes says.
People are trying to say, "Ooh, Rotten Tomatoes." Okay, what did you think about? Because I actually really liked. It was probably one of the last Marvel movies I really liked. I really liked Doctor Strange 2.
Yep.
I enjoyed it because I thought the villain was like a horror movie. I mean, like Sam Raimi was channeling his fucking horror movie shit. And I really enjoyed it. And like Rotten Tomatoes gave that, it was like, oh, it's shitty. So like that was the moment that I was like,
I'll fully admit I'm a Sam Raimi slut.
Yeah,
like
dude.
Army of Dead is one of my favorite movies of all time, or Army of Darkness is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like the Evil Dead franchise and as a whole is like my guilty pleasure franchise other than Scream. So I haven't seen the new Evil Dead movie. But no spoilers in the comments or I'll fucking come for you. That's a joke, YouTube. That's a joke. But I think the only thing I found really weak in that Doctor Strange movie was some of the CGI was kind of shitty.
Yeah, nowhere near as bad as the fucking Thor movie though.
Floating Head got nominated for an award. Okay.
I hate it. Thor 4 was like that movie was so bad that it actually made me almost like never watch a Marvel movie, and I had to fucking push past. But no, I love Doctor Strange too. I thought it was phenomenal.
I will say, I'm looking forward to Secret Invasion because it's one of my favorite arcs in the they're adapting parts of my favorite arc in that one. But then again, I was also looking forward to Hawkeye, and that wasn't too good. And that was my favorite Hawkeye storyline that they adapted, and I was pissed at that one. So I don't know. I am hella.
It could be good, it could be bad. I mean, we all liked Infinity War and Endgame, right? I mean, that was pretty well.
Well, I mean, that was the peak of the MCU. That was like when movies became like this glorious event. Now you gotta watch 87 shows, 3 specials, and 22 movies to keep up with the fucking storyline. And I think superhero fatigue is actually starting to hit really, really badly.
It is for sure. I agree. I'm there's a couple that I'm excited for, but a lot of them I'm
like Guardians of the Galaxy I'm looking forward to.
Those have always been good. I mean, I'm hoping he can 3 for 3 on that one because the first 2 are phenomenal.
The special was good too. The Disney Plus special.
Yeah, it was silly and dumb, but fine.
But I also am a big James Gunn fan, so.
Yeah, well, see, like my only, I have a little fear because I didn't really like Suicide Squad, even the James Gunn one.
I loved it.
It felt substanceless to me.
I mean, I could see why it would feel like that to you, but it felt like a trauma movie to me, which was his roots.
I mean, like it was like fun visually, I guess, but like, I think I just don't care about those characters.
If you don't have an attachment to like the plot relevance of the Suicide Squad, like that's definitely not a movie for you. I very much love the Suicide Squad comics, so I went into it knowing what to expect, and also having that trauma element to it really made it like my favorite of like that era of the DCEU.
Yeah, I mean, it was gorgeous for sure. I mean, like something he's always been phenomenal at is, I mean, he's a great director. Like, I mean, there were some gorgeous shots. Like, so yeah, I mean, it was competently made. I just didn't really care for it.
And like you said, like not liking the Suicide Squad characters, it just kind of like killed.
I'm very excited for Guardians. What else is there coming out?
I know Blue Beetle's coming out.
I saw. How do you feel about that?
I don't give a fuck about Blue Beetle as a character. So
visually, it looks interesting.
It does. Like enough to canonical Buster Sword in the DC universe is funny to me.
No, did James Gunn do that one as well?
No. Okay. That one's been in production for a while. I don't even know if it's going to be tied into the new DC universe. So, again, like that's one of those points where I'm like, why bother releasing this? You know,
it's not going to be the real fucking hype movie coming out is Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's a day one for me.
Looks so. That's IMAX, bro. I'm seeing that shit in IMAX.
But I know there's also The Flash coming out. I don't want to see that because I don't want to support Ezra Miller.
Did you see the So like, I am not watching any trailers for Spider-Verse because I try to stay away from trailers for movies I know I'm going to see because I like to go in as blind as possible. But the theory I'm hearing for the what the plot of that new Spider-Verse is that all the alternative Spider-Man are like they're like they think Miles is like an imposter because his parents aren't dead.
I've seen that theory going around. I also saw that they were going after. I saw one other theory that they're going after him because like he's not a Peter Parker.
Yeah, dude, it would be so funny to me because there's also a line where they're like, "Oh, being Spider-Man takes sacrifices," right? I would love it if they're like, "Nah, dude." Like there's just some mega salty Spider-Men that are like, well, this is bullshit. You can't be part of the Spider-Man club if you got parents
or like a parental figure. Well, I mean, Miles's dad does die in the comics, so
this might be where it happens.
Yeah, think about like if a Spider-Man is inadvertently the reason that the fucking Miles's dad is dead.
Dude, I mean, well, so like it could be two things. It could be like this is classic controlled chaos off topicness, by the way. I hope you all enjoy. It could be like we as the Spider-Man are literally going to go and kill your parents, like because I mean, like Infinite Spider-Man, some of them are going to be psychotic. Obviously,
there are psychotics. And one storyline, Osborn, like Green Goblin takes, or not. Doc Ock takes over I don't remember if it was the Doc Ock or Green Goblin, actually. But anyway, like some fucky bullshit happens and Spider-Man is replaced and then kind of goes back to, like, being like a douchebag and joining like villain teams and teaming up with people like the Punisher, and yeah, so it could happen.
Yeah, no. So what I was saying was, the two options are either A, like they literally are going to kill his mom, or they could be like, hey, dude, like it's like a destiny thing. Like now that you're Spider-Man, your parents are gonna die. Like it's gonna happen.
So like, it was Doc Ock. So Doc Ock swaps his mind with Peter.
I don't care. I'm talking to you about
that could be like how it happens. So like having Superior Spider-Man comes in, nukes fucking Miles' parents, and then they're like, yeah, I did your dirty work for you, and now he's a real Spider-Man.
I mean, it'd be I just love the idea. So because people are kind of comparing it to this I'm going to bring it right back to Chainsaw Man. Look at this. People are comparing it to that chapter where the caretaker drowned her cat, and she's like, well, no one else here has family. It's kind of not fair that you do.
Yeah.
Right? Like that literally could be like what some of the other Spider-Men are saying to him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love it. Again, I have not seen a single trailer for this movie. I just see people talking about it, like maybe that's what it is. That would be fucking hilarious. Like the pettiness of that, would be so fucking funny to base
100%. I would love for Spider-Man to go dark in this, and
I'm hoping it will.
There are thousands upon thousands of fucking comics of Spider-Man, and all of them have had one prevailing portion that really resonates with everybody is like, no matter how good he does, he is always the universe's punching bag.
Right. He's like destined to be poor.
Destined to be poor, destined to be bitchless, no matter who he gets in a relationship with. He either kills them with his radioactive cum. That is the actual Spider-Man storyline.
Yep. I know the legends.
He
gave her like cancer, right?
He gave her cancer with his radioactive jizz.
Hey, man. That's the price of fucking a superhero.
Like is universally panned as one of the worst storylines, but it is something that happened. He is always like at the fucking cusp of breaking up or losing anybody he loves. Like his girlfriend either dies because he can't save them from fucking Green Goblin, or they get beaten the shit out of to the point where like they leave him because he's pissed off some criminal. He's just There's one panel I saw on TikTok actually. It's like, God, can we maybe not do this for a while? He's actually like praying to God, and he has fucking met the Marvel Universe's God.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I hope that I'm very excited. I hope that it goes to like some super dark places. But we should probably bring it back just for final thoughts and shit on Chainsaw Man here.
When's the next chapter for this? Actually,
I believe there's no break. Yep, 6 days.
Let me check really quick, actually, because we have Goodbye Airy.
Goodbye Airy will go up next time there's a break. I already told you that. So.
Yep. Well, I was seeing if that would go up next or if this would. So
listen, man, we're gonna be so thankful. I know you're like, oh, you're mad that I'm not putting it up right now. But we're gonna be so thankful to have some content when there's a break.
No, I was just seeing if that would go up next or the next Chainsaw Man before I got into thoughts.
I think that briefly we can talk about the previous chapter since we scrapped that one. I continue to really like the Yoru Asu dynamic. I like that when Yoru's in charge, she stops floating, and when Asa's in charge, she floats. So in a way, she's kind of got like a hack from this devil's power, because she can kind of travel back or switch back and forth between these two personalities, and obviously it's attached to your like trauma and like how deeply you're spiraling into it. Which is
I like the visualization of two particular panels in that chapter. One, the worm creature thingy.
Dude, her just like pushing the cart and then like right through the door into like hell dimension is so fucking cool. I agree.
And then the flesh bag, I guess we'll call him, because I don't think he ever got named.
What, the creature or something?
No. The thing that was being put on like the trolley or the U-boat there, where she's.
Oh, you mean the guy?
Yeah, I love the visualization of him just like having the like Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine style Deadpool like sewn shut mouth. There.
He's also got like his eyes clamped open.
Yep, like Clockwork Orange style. He's missing parts of his body there. Like that was really cool. I love when Fujimoto goes horror.
Me too. I mean, like Darkness Devil to this day is one of his best. So I'm very excited to see what else he does with this Primal Devil.
I know the next book of one-shots comes out in a couple days because I pre-ordered it.
Ooh, exciting.
Or is that the July release? It was either Chainsaw Man Volume 12 is July or that batch of one-shots is. While you talk, I'll check that.
Yeah, I also just wanted to say I continue to love Asa. Asa's way of Asa's like thing where she's talking about like her real fears about how, I'm lonely, I'm terrified of companionship, but I'm also terrified of solitude is one of the most relatable Gen Z things in the world.
God, yes.
We talked about it at length in our scrapped recording, but we were so low energy it wasn't even fun to listen to. But like,
April
even down to
18th
like
is the other one-shot book.
Cool. Even down to like how she's like biting her handle talking about it. I mean, like it recalls memories for me of like I used to do that too when I was like super stressed out. He's masterful at writing things like autism and all things neurotypical. I'm sorry, neurodivergent. I love, and Asa and Yoru their back and forths are interesting because Asa has her very obvious and very consistent character flaws and like worries, but also Yoru consistently is weird about being called stupid. You remember we've noticed this before, like back when they were walking away from Denji on the rooftop, and she's like, and Asa's like, he just said he was Chainsaw. No, I'm sorry, other way around. Yoru was like, he said he's Chainsaw Man, get him. And then Asa's like, not the sharpest tack in the drawer, are you? And she's like, are you calling me stupid? Are you calling me stupid? Like, this is consistently, anytime that happens, there's a panel of Yoru. Like, Fujimoto takes time to make a panel of Yoru being like, stupid. So, like, it just continues to reinforce that, like, Yoru has some fucking self-confidence issues, and I love that. And I'm very excited to see that fully explored in the future.
Just kind of expanding on that for a second here. I really like the fact that he went to focus on the, like, I have this fear of being alone, but I also have fear of attachment for Asa. Because, like, in a way, that's kind of her relationship with Yoru. Like, she wants her gone. Right?
Yes!
But she's also hella codependent on that. And that's something that hit me really, really deeply. Because, like, I have, like, a private group chat with you and one of my other friends. And, like, that's my, like, codependent corner in a way. But at the same time, like, if I didn't have that, that one outlet, I think I'd be in the same boat here with, like, Asa, Because, like, there's a point where you need to vent. You need to actually talk to someone. And, like, there's no shame in that. But she feels like this shame from when she was young. And I'm assuming from that group home, too. Like, everybody was kind of coming back from, like, when the Typhoon Devil kind of destroyed the world. Or destroyed this town, Like, everybody was, kind of homeless there. I'm assuming that's all from the same devil attack. Or, like, from devil attacks in general. And now she feels like this inane guilt, I'm assuming, because she's codependent on a devil itself.
Yeah, I mean, because remember, one of the things from the established about her in the beginning is that she hates devils, like, with a passion. But yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot going on there. It's the classic, like, I'm realizing the thing I hate isn't as bad as I thought. There's the, like you said, I think one of my favorite moments to, kind of reinforce what you're talking about here is that moment in the aquarium where she's like trying to,
trying to summon her, and she
not even just summon her. She's trying to like shit talk Denji, like, oh my god, that fucking guy, right, Yoru? And then like,
she has this like insane back and forth with her, like, and the feelings towards being dependent on that. But like, if she really lost Yoru, I don't think she'd be okay. I think she'd be hella suicidal because that's been her outlet for this entire part, basically. And
I mean, there was hints about her being suicidal in the beginning of the part. She was talking about how she'd rather just like die than go to school or something.
Yeah, and then she lost Yuko, her only other friend. So if she lost Yoru at this point, she'd have no one, basically. I mean, that's dark to think about, but like, she would.
Yeah, I mean, because no parents, no, who the fuck else? Yeah, like literally nobody. I'm trying to think.
And like everyone else in that school fucking hates her.
Yeah.
Because she killed Bucky. So.
Yeah, I mean, and even before that, they kind of hated her.
Yeah,
she was like the weirdo.
Like now she's
even
like,
more.
Yeah, now she's like the number one public enemy at that school. So, fuck. If the moment that her contract's fulfilled with war, like, she'll have no one.
You make a good point. I hadn't even considered that. Like, her life legit might be better with war. like, because you're right. I mean, like, holy shit, I didn't even consider that. She literally would have nobody. She lives alone. She has no friends, no parents, no guardians. Like, that's insane.
Yep. And no
Wow,
Denji.
I didn't even consider that. Yeah. And like now I'm curious now because Denji's here, and so is Asa and Yoru. So this is an interesting moment where I'm going to be curious how Denji's going to handle that because Nayuta has kind of given the order, right? Like, stay away from her.
Given the order, and he's
Yoshida has given the order to Asa. You stay away from him. So what's gonna? This is turning quickly into like a Romeo and Juliet. Like, ooh, it's because like as we all know, you and I, you're more of a slut in practice, but I'm a slut in heart. It's significantly more sexy to do romantic fucky wucky things with someone if you've been barred from doing it.
Yeah.
Think like fucking upstairs trying to stay quiet when their parents are downstairs. There's something that's very thrilling.
I have snuck out of plenty of windows in my youth. I know what you mean.
and don't you come like twice as hard? That shit's hot as fuck.
It's hot as fuck.
So like
it
now,
definitely wasn't as like an adult and you were the DL fuck.
For forbidden, I think that trope's called forbidden love, right? Forbidden romance. Forbidden romance is such a hot fucking concept for fiction. Like that's why I love like Hanako so much. It's like, well, he's a ghost. He's literally dead, but I love him. Ooh, I love shit like that. So like, I mean, we've now kind of turned this into like a forbidden romance, and I would love to see that where it's like both of us are gonna get in trouble if we do this. So let's fucking do it.
Yeah, coming to my partner or my DL partner's place, and then their parents getting there, and then having to fucking run out the window because they hated my guts because I'm not Christian. Yeah, that was real fun. But yeah, no, that's fucking crazy to think about. Like, I genuinely wonder one other thing here, Red. He is full Chainsaw Man mode right now, right? And we have War and Control currently.
Yeah, I'll double check.
Will we have a brawl between those two, or will War's like weird hormones take over here too? Because we've also seen that she's kind of down bad as well.
So I just double checked. As of the last chapter, Asa is back in control. Ooh. That's why she's floating on top of a ceiling right now.
Okay, so the pain is wore off.
Yoru's trying to get control back, but Asa left off in control. Okay. Yeah.
So we could have it one of two ways here, actually. This is my theory for the next chapter. We'll have a moment of this, like, oh shit, they're here. What do I do? And then we'll have War more desperately trying to get in control. And we'll also probably have the conversation here, like, I'm not supposed to talk to you because of my little bratty sister thing. I'm not supposed to talk to you because of the dude that's in the Devil Hunter Club told me not to. And then they're going to be like, fuck, but we're both stuck here together.
Yeah, also, like, maybe they'll have a moment where it's like, if Denji's even a little smart, he's going to be like, why does Yoshida not want you to talk to me? Why is the world trying to keep us apart? What's going on here?
Yeah, I'm genuinely curious if Denji has the mental capacity to do that.
I feel like we've learned in the past that sometimes we underestimate him. We
do, but he is dumber than a sack of bricks.
It's true, but I feel like he has the capacity to occasionally understand certain things. So I'll give him. I don't know. I'll believe in him a little bit. But like, I don't know. I'm curious how this fight's gonna go. You said something earlier about like War Devil being here. I'd love a 2v1 where they work together to fuck up Falling Devil here. That'd be cool.
Yeah, but what could be a weapon here for War? Like, like building sword maybe.
But she'd have to feel like she owns the whole building, though.
I floated in that building for 25 minutes. Okay, I own this bitch.
She could find her apartment and like turn that just the chunk of the building that's her apartment.
But then like homeless.
Then she's fucking homeless. Although insurance claim.
Insurance claim. That's a good point, right?
That was a devil. That wasn't me. That was devils. Y'all better believe I got devil insurance.
I mean, they live in a world where that would probably be a thing. Like down in Florida, there's hurricane insurance, right?
Exactly. Oh my God, that's actually she could do some top tier insurance fraud right now.
Like I not only want a better apartment, I want it fully furnished, bitch.
Yeah. So okay, here's what we're gonna do, Yoru. I'm gonna fucking get the top insurance plan, and we're gonna wait like 2 or 3 months so it's not suspect, and then we're gonna just destroy my apartment.
Also, considering there was like a mass suicide out front, I feel like we could sue the building management for like emotional damages.
I don't know. I actually forgot. Is this her apartment that this is happening at, or some like rando other apartment that she just walked by?
Well, she was going home. Sure. She was going home.
That's true. So it might be. I actually don't know.
But we don't know if she made it home before this started.
Yeah, so we don't know. We'll have to figure out. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, I am very excited for the conversations that are going to take place between Denji and us. We made this
an hour-long video, Red.
This is because we're in top form right now. I need Denji and Asa to fuck. I need it to happen. Yeah, in any capacity.
I mean, at this point, I want Denji to have one fucking W before he's used again.
Yeah, I want Denji to lose his V card before the apocalypse.
Right, no, like that has to be a goal.
I also want Asa to lose her V card before the apocalypse because she is a femcell, so she wants it just as bad.
The amount of people who got pissed that I called her a femcell, man.
Who got pissed? I see the comments. People didn't get pissed.
Like when I tweeted that out, like it was just like she's not a femcell. I'm like my brother in Christ. She literally is thirsting for Denji's dick.
It's not terrible. Listen, I will give her this. Okay, there's levels to incelness. Okay, there are incels that are very very bad and like very very destructive. She's not that bad, but I mean the second I will give you that we were kind of messing around, but the chapter where she was like, it's not like I wanted him or anything. It was just the hormones, and of course my body would respond that way. That's come on.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. No, 100%. It's like I didn't mean to do it. You know, I just accidentally brushed past her ass.
Yeah, it's just that I wanted some human connection finally, but hormones. Yeah. Anyway, I love her to death, though. She
is the better MC. Hands down.
I'm glad we all agree. I mean, like, Denji's fun. I think they both accomplished different things, like
right.
Denji accomplished what the story they were trying to accomplish with him, but like Asa is definitely, if we're judging by like who's the most well-rounded, like most detailed, like a deeper character, mm-hmm. right? But I have always advocated for not saying character better just because character deeper, right? Like right. A lot of people love Endeavor for some reason in My Hero Academia. I don't see it. Like he bores the shit out of me, and they're like, "But he's the best written character."
There are people that worship fucking Light Yagami. Like,
well, that's one of those literally me type characters, right? Those people that are like Bateman from fucking Wolf of Wall Street, or the Joker,
America's
right? Like those type of people who are like, "Oh my god, he's literally me," and I'm like,
"You're not supposed to like Rick from Rick and Morty."
I mean, you can like him, but don't think that he's like morally correct.
Like there are moments where I agree with him, but there are moments where I'm like, you are a fucking asshole.
It's almost like he's a nuanced character.
Right, but like there is a moment like where you have to draw the line and be like, am I also the problem in my own life? When you're when you're like
Yagami, most of those characters have like a moment where they become something bad, right? Mm-hmm. And you have to find that like Light Yagami, it was like, okay,
like Walter White,
yes, with Light Yagami I'm with you until you start killing like petty criminals in it, like, oh, he stole a candy bar, kill that motherfucker. I'm like, what is wrong with it's fucking
he sold a bag of weed to that kid, heart attack.
Like Yagami is literally a conservative.
Well, when you put those two together, it makes sense why they would worship him, right?
Yeah. As smart as he was, he thought that fucking, I don't know.
There was
it's funny because
it was literally absolute power collapse.
Let me finish. Because otherwise I'll never get finished. What was I gonna say? As I grew older, it became so obvious to me that like you don't attack crime at the bottom level. You don't attack crime by attacking the criminal. You have to attack the source of the crime, right? Like, where does crime come from? It comes from typically mental illness and a lack of basic needs, right?
Is that senator suppressing mental health care? Maybe that one should have the heart attack.
Yeah, and then use the fucking death note that you can use it to make them write messages before they die. So like, be like, I was killed by Kira for voting yes on this bill. I was killed by Kira for voting against, allowing the railroad workers to strike. I was killed by Kira by voting against free meals for kids in school. That's the fucking base.
I was killed by Kira for putting NRA money before the lives of kids.
Yes, dude. Oh my god. Light would have been the most fucking based and celebrated MC. But no, dude. He's like, oh yeah, man. Surely if I just murder all the criminals, there will be no criminals anymore. It's like, yeah, dude, that's
I say that as a gun owner comments.
Dude, I really do. In that way though, he was a fascinatingly written character because the author was sure to give him that character flaw that he had a literal god complex. Yep. Like he didn't just want to fix the world, he wanted everyone to know that he did, and he wanted everyone to be like, thank you. And
he accomplished his fucking goal. He really did. There is the cult of Kira.
He accomplished it, but it was like weird. It was like through fear, right? Yep. Like people stopped committing crimes through this like fear of like, oh my god, I could be struck down, which is terrifying. Yep. Anyway,
it's the definition of absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah. And like, I'm not gonna pretend like that like there's not good in that world, because I mean, you talked about how like wars had stopped and I mean, there was good for sure, but it's like there's better ways.
Yep. But yeah, like that's kind of like where we're at here.
Final thoughts.
Good chapters. Very interesting dynamic we're going to be seeing in the next few chapters as we go forward here. I genuinely do want to see more body horror from Fujimoto.
Yeah, I hope we get there. I mean, I'm hoping as this fight with a primal goes forward, we get more and more wacky visuals.
Because, like, these last few chapters have given us some of the most disturbing designs since the Darkness Devil. I don't think we'll ever top that reveal, because it was just the imagery alone was so insane. I can't wait to see that animated.
I bet he has something wacky planned for, like, Endgame Chainsaw Man. Like, when we're fighting, like, death itself.
Yeah, more than likely, once we get to that, like... I don't think we're going to get, like, the Pale Horseman on, with the fucking hood and cloak and all that.
No, dude, Death is going to be wacky as fuck. He's going to have some weird eldritch fucking abomination for Death.
Death is literally Cthulhu.
I have a feeling he's going to trend in the direction of, like, uncomprehensible, right? Yep. Like you can't even comprehend. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, like, as for predictions, I think I already talked about it. I think it's just going to be, like, at some point, Asa and him are going to meet up, have a conversation during the fight, maybe, like, fight him together. I think we might have a moment where, like, one of them, like, they fight together, they save each other, and then, like, nothing gets the hormones going, like, like, almost dying and being saved from almost dying by someone you want to fuck.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I genuinely think that Fujimoto could take it in a direction where they fight this thing,
they fuck on top of a pile of corpses
together, and then they're like, and then they go home and they fuck it out. Like, I mean, we wouldn't see it, but I feel like he's implied he has shown lesbian scissoring before. So I mean, like, maybe we would see it. I don't know. Yeah. Either way,
I really hope. Just my final say on this. I really hope that they go home to have the sex, and not just fucking the war zone there. But I mean, like,
yeah. I'll be I'm gonna be honest with you, Asa. We have to go to your house, okay? Like, Nayuta is not gonna have it. All right.
I don't want to be on a registry while raising a child, okay?
I'm going to be in the middle of fucking you, and then your mind is gonna turn into that of a dog, and it's gonna become weird and potentially hotter. But we're not gonna go down that path.
And with that, peace.
Peace.